such a reading, what comes to your mind? Have you already experienced that? If not, you might not be a true Christian. Personally, I have experienced that, and I'm still experiencing, but we have also to use wisdom. In today's gospel, Jesus makes it clear that his followers will be persecuted. Many of them will be seized, sent to prison, hated, and even be put to death. For some, this will even happen at the hands of their own family members. But Jesus tells them this to prepare them and to let them know that these persecutions will enable them to give testimony to Jesus. First of all, giving testimony especially means they are to be a witness of Christ. Witness of Christ, like Andrew, the martyr, whom we celebrate today. And one of the best ways such a witness is fulfilled is through the various forms of martyrdom. To be a martyr is to be a witness, not to fear, to speak out the truth. But sometimes we coil. Are we witnesses of Christ? And those who suffer persecution for the sake of Christ and then respond to that persecution in accord with the wisdom and inspiration of Jesus are true martyrs. It's helpful to note that if one is persecuted and responds with anger or returns the violence in accord with their own irrational will, then they are not martyrs. We have to use wisdom, because sometimes we are tested. One time I was approached by a lady, and she started shouting at me, "Why did you close the church?" It was during pandemic. She started yelling at me. Inside my heart, I was fuming. I said, should I say a word to this lady? But the inner person told me, no, don't. I kept quiet. And then after, I said, are you done? I walked away. Then after 2 days, she sent me a long email apologizing. We are now good friends. That is how a martyr should respond. Jesus says that responding to persecution requires that we are not to prepare for a defense beforehand. In part, this is because there is a great temptation one experiences when persecuted by another. It is a very understandable that when a person experiences persecution in any way, they will encounter anger and be tempted to fight back in a way that is uncharitable and only furthers the disorder. Responding to persecution in accord with the will of God requires great attentiveness to the promptings of the Holy Spirit, great humility, and unwavering charity, directed at the one doing the persecution. Therefore, Jesus makes the promise that he will be with you in such situations and will give you a wisdom in speaking that all your adversaries will be powerless to resist or to refute. What a grace! But this grace is only available to those who rely completely upon Christ and not upon their own disordered passions and emotions. Are we true witnesses of Christ? Reflect today, my dear brothers and sisters, upon this promise from Jesus. Some will encounter little persecution in their lives at various times, but others will encounter severe persecution in various ways, even from their own family members. Jesus knew that. Reflect upon any ways that you have experienced the unjust treatment of another, and then reflect upon your response. How did you respond? It might even happen today. After Mass, someone might come and say, "Oh, why do you always go to church? Are you holy?" And then you say, "Excuse me, what are you saying?" You have to respond with wisdom. Were you able to immediately forgive, or up to now you are still carrying that anger? Were you able to set aside your anger, wounded pride, and desire for revenge? Were you able to keep your eyes on Christ and rejoice that you have been found worthy to share in the persecutions and sufferings that Jesus endured? Pray that you will always be open to the grace of this promise of Jesus, so that you will always respond to everyone in accord with the wisdom of God. We are all invited to be witnesses of Christ, and we have to rely on the power of Holy Spirit.
Hello, OLPH. My name is Mary Lynn Januszewski, and I'm the Director of Finance and Operations at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Parish in Glenview, Illinois. And this message comes to you with heartfelt gratitude and thanks for your ongoing generosity and support of OLPH Parish. This overwhelming generosity allows us to continue to serve and to minister to the parish community in so many different ways. So thank you, OLPH, for all you do. You are much appreciated.